Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Discussion from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chapter 4, text number 27 to 30. The chapter is titled Confidential Reasons for Lord's Appearance. Right. Confidential Reasons for Lord's Appearance. He Suddha Bhaktolana Karimu Avatar Kariba Vibida Vida Adbhuta Vihar Vaikuntha Adya Nahi Ye Lilara Prachar Tese Lila Kariba Yate Mora Chamatkar He Suddha Bhaktolana Karimu Avatar Kariba Vivida Vida Adbhuta Vihar Vaikuntha Adye Nahi Ye Lilar Prachar Ese Lila Kariba Yate Mora Chamatkar. Taking these pure devotees with me, I shall descend and sport in various wonderful ways, unknown even in Vaikuntha. I shall broadcast such pastimes by which even I am amazed. Yeah. Lord Krishna, in the form of Lord Chaitanya, educates his devotees to develop progressively to the stage of pure devotional service. Thus, he appears periodically as a devotee to take part in various wonderful activities depicted in his sublime philosophy and teachings. There are innumerable Vaikuntha planets in the spiritual sky, and in all of them the Lord accepts the service rendered by his eternal devotees in a reverential mode. Therefore, Lord Sri Krishna presents his most confidential pastimes as he enjoys them in his transcendental realm. Such pastimes are so attractive that they attract even the Lord, and thus he releases them in the form of Lord Chaitanya. Yeah, I'll go to yeah. मोह विषाय गोपी गानेर उपपति भावे योग माया करी बेका आपन प्रभावे मोह विषाय गोपी गणेर उपपति भावे योग माया करी बेका आपन प्रभावे. The influence of Yogamaya will inspire the gopis with the sentiment that I am their paramour. Yogamaya is the name of internal potency that makes the Lord forget himself and become an object of love for his pure devotee in different transcendental mellows. This Yogamaya potency creates a spiritual sentiment in the minds of the damsels of Braj, by which they think of Lord Krishna as a paramour. This sentiment is never to be compared to mundane illicit sexual love. It has nothing to do with sexual psychology, although the pure love of such devotees seems to be sexual. One should know for certain that nothing can exist in this cosmic manifestation. There is no real counterpart in the spiritual field. All material manifestations are emanations of the transcendence. The erotic principles of amorous love, reflected in mixed material values, are perverted reflections of the reality of spirit. But one cannot understand the reality unless one is sufficiently educated in the spiritual science. Yeah. आमिह न जानीताहा न जाने गोपिगान दुन्हार रूप गुणे दुन्हार नित्य हरे मना आमिह न जानीताहा न जाने गोपिगान दुन्हार रूप गुणे दुन्हार नित्य हरे मना. Neither the gopis nor I shall notice this, for our minds will always be entranced by one another's beauty and qualities. In the spiritual sky, the Vaikuntha planets are predominated by Narayan. His devotees have the same features he does, and the exchange of devotion there is on the platform of reverence. But above all these Vaikuntha planets is Golaka or Krishna Loka, where the original personality of Godhead, Krishna, fully manifests his pleasure potency in free loving affairs. Since the devotees in the material world know almost nothing about these affairs, the Lord desires to show these affairs to them. In Golaka Vrindavan, there is an exchange of love known as Parakya Ras. It is something like the attraction of a married woman for a man other than her husband. In the material world, this sort of relationship is most abominable because it is a perverted reflection of the Parakya Ras in the spiritual world, where it is the highest kind of loving affair. Such feelings between the devotee and the Lord are presented by the influence of Yogamaya. The Bhagavad Gita states that the devotees of the highest grade are under the care of Daiva Maya or Yogamaya. Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakriti masita. Those who are actually great souls, Mahatmas, are fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness, always engaged in the service of the Lord. They are under the care of Daivi Prakriti or Yogamaya. Yogamaya creates a situation in which the devotee is prepared to transgress all regulative principles simply to love Krishna. A devotee naturally does not like to transgress the laws of reverence for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But by the influence of Yogamaya, he is prepared to do anything to love the Supreme Lord better. Those under the spell of the material energy cannot at all appreciate the activities of Yogamaya, for a conditioned soul can hardly understand the pure reciprocation between the Lord and his devotee. But by executing devotional service under the regulative principles, one can become very highly elevated and then begin to appreciate the dealings of pure love under the management of Yogamaya. In a spiritual loving sentiment induced by the Yogamaya potency, both Lord Sri Krishna and the dancers of Raj forget themselves in spiritual raptures. By the influence of such forgetfulness, the attractive beauty of the gopis plays a prominent part in the transcendental satisfaction of the Lord, who has nothing to do with mundane sex. Because spiritual love of Godhead is above everything mundane, the gopis superficially seem to transgress the codes of mundane morality. This perpetually puzzles mundane moralists. Therefore, Yogamaya acts to cover the Lord and his pastimes from the eyes of mundaners, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 7:25, where the Lord says that he reserves the right of not being exposed to everyone. The acts of Yogamaya make it possible for the Lord and the gopis in loving ecstasy to sometimes meet and sometimes separate. These transcendental loving affairs of the Lord are unimaginable to empirists involved in the impersonal feature of the Absolute Truth. Therefore, the Lord Himself appears before the mundaners to bestow upon them the highest form of spiritual realization and also personally release its essence. The Lord is so merciful that He Himself descends to take the fallen souls back home to the kingdom of Godhead, where the erotic principles of Godhead are eternally released in the real form. distinct from the perverted sexual love so much adored and indulged in by the fallen souls in their disease condition. The reason the Lord displays the Rasa Lila is essentially to induce all the fallen souls to give up their diseased morality and religiosity and to attract them to the kingdom of God to enjoy the reality. A person who actually understands what the Rasa Lila is will certainly hate to indulge in mundane sex life. For the realist soul, hearing the Lord's Rasa Lila through the proper channel will result in complete abstinence from material sexual pleasure. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurmitanyena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitamena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kadhamayam Dadati Swa Padantikam Mandeham Shigra Sijita Padakamanam Shigrum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathavitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Paryana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padhan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vitamsya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopikakanta Radhakanto Namastute Sapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpataru Bhasya Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavane Bhayo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristha Bhutale Guruta Chaitanya Swami Pranam. Hare Krishna. In this chapter, titled The Confidential Reasons for the Lord's Appearance, you will see in the beginning of the chapter the Bahirangi reasons, the external reasons for the Lord's appearance was mentioned, right? And now, in this verse is the internal reasons, Antarangi, the internal reasons for the Lord's appearance is mentioned here, right? Prema rasa swadan, to taste the sweet essence of the mallows of the love of Godhead, right? And raga marga, bhakti prachar, to propagate devotional service in the world on the platform of spontaneous attraction. We see these five different kinds of mallows, right? Santaras, Dasyaras, Sakyaras, Vatsalyaras, and Madhuryaras, right? Of which Madhuryaras is the topmost. A devotee, though married, uh, he is loving the Supreme Lord in that paramour, Parakyaras, right? Parakyaras, Brajate Prachar. There's the topmost in the spiritual realm. Um, a beloved loving his beloved, right? A person loving his beloved. that paramour attraction, which is devoid of all mundane sexual love. It is devoid of all mundane sexual love. And it is exhibited by the gopis of Vrindavan. Right? It's exhibited by the gopis of Vrindavan. And is not even present. You know, Sakyaras, Vatsalaras, and Madhuriras. And its fullness is present in Goloka Vrindavan. It's not even present in the other Vaikuntha planets. You don't, in other Vaikuntha planets, uh, there is predominance of Tantaras, reverential uh, association on the basis of neutrality, and Dasaras, right? Servitorship, mellow of neutrality and mellow of servitorship. The higher three mellows, mellows of friendship, mellows of Vatsalya, uh, paternal attraction, and mellows of conjugal love, is not even present in Vaikuntha planets. Here, by the Lord's internal energy, right, Daivi Shakti or Yogamaya, Lord's internal energy is called Yogamaya, Lord's external energy is called Mahamaya. By the Lord's internal energy, Yogamaya, both the Lord and his devotee, the Lord forgets that he is the Lord, and his devotee also forgets that this is the Supreme Lord. They have full attraction for the Lord in either friendship or paternal affection or conjugal loving affair, right? Conjugal loving affairs. This devotee in the Sakya Ras will play with the Supreme Lord, and if the Lord is defeated in that play, they will make the Lord carry them on his shoulder. On the Lord's shoulder, the Lord will be carrying his devotee. In the mood of reverential mood, Santaras or Dasya mood, you'll never see that a devotee would allow the Lord to that a devotee will climb up on the Lord. You'll never see that, right? You'll never see the devotee climb up on the Lord, right? You'll never see a devotee or the Lord being fearful of his devotee. And in that fear of his devotee, he gets bound up by the rope of love of his devotee, as what Mother Jasoda did when she was running after the Lord with a stick. And Lord, with tears in his eyes, was crying and crying and running here and there, finally gets caught by Mother Jasoda, who then tries to bind the Lord, and finally, out of affection, the Lord allows himself to be bound by this rope of love of Mother Jasoda. Right. Or in the sulky mood of the um, of the Lord, from his devotee who in their the paramour attraction for the Supreme Lord, right? They no through all kinds of uh, um, sulkiness, right? Sulkiness, and the Lord gets completely captured by that sulkiness of his devotee. That at times he rolls the sand in separation from his devotee, right? That devotional mood is in two forms, Sambhoga and Vipralamba, union and separation. And in separation, it becomes so intense both for the Lord and his devotee. In fact, his devotee experiences that Vipralamba bhav so much that the Lord himself desires that, oh, how come my devotee is experiencing so much ecstasy in separation from me? Let me also experience that. And to experience that, the Lord personally appears as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the mood of a devotee to experience that separation of love from his paramour, the Supreme Lord, in the mood of Srimati Radharani, experiencing the topmost Mahabhav and separation from Lord Krishna. And to experience that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes, who is Krishna himself, but comes in the mood of Srimati Radharani. To experience that Vipralamba Bhav, Vipralamba Bhav, mood of loving separation from the Supreme Lord in Madhurya conjugal marrow. And that's how this Rasa Lila is there between the Lord and his close, intimate devotees, which is beyond any perverted form of mundane sexual attraction. Right. To hear about Rasa Lila, right? One's mundane sexual attraction does not get aroused. Instead, it gets wiped out. It gets purified, right? He gets purified of any mundane thoughts of uh, the mundane sexual attraction and gets fully absorbed in hearing about these wonderful pastimes of the Supreme Lord. And the Lord appears to exhibit the discussions of those pastimes. Right? To exhibit this discussion of these pastimes, the Lord personally appears. Right? The Lord mentions in the earlier verses 27 28 that I shall descend and sport with them in various ways, unknown even in Vaikuntha, and broadcast the pastimes that amaze even me. That supreme pastime of the Supreme Lord, which the Lord has exhibited in Vraja Vrindavan, right, with his topmost devotees, the gopis. Right. The Lord wants to broadcast those pastimes because those pastimes even amazes the Supreme Lord Himself. Right? The influence of the Yogamaya will inspire the gopis with the sentiment that I am their paramour, Upapati. In the verse, in 29th verse, we see uh, the mention of this Upapati. Upapati bhave. Mo vishay gopi ganare Upapati bhave. Upapati means of a paramour, in the position of paramour, Upapati bhave. Right. So, to inspire the gopis with the sentiment that I am the paramour, Upapati, neither they nor I shall notice this, being attracted by each other's beauty and qualities. Neither those devotees in that exalted position who are completely attracted to the Supreme Lord in this Parakya Bhav, right? Nor the Supreme Lord Himself, who is attracted by the beauty and qualities of His pure devotees, right? Notice that the pure attachment will unite us even at the expense of dharma. Destiny will sometimes bring us together and sometimes separate us. Sambhoga and Vipralamba, Sambhoga and Vipralamba. Right. Bring us together in the form of Raslila pastimes. I'll exhibit the Raslila pastimes right in the climax of the Raslila pastimes. Suddenly the Lord vanishes with his closest associate. Right? He vanishes, intensifying the mood of separation of his Paramo devotees from the Supreme Lord. Right? As they're in the mood and sentiment where the Supreme Lord is the paramour. Right? Supreme Lord is the paramour. Neither the gopis nor I shall notice this, for our minds will always be entranced by one another's beauty and qualities. Right? Yeah. So that's the topmost form of attraction which a devotee has for the Supreme Lord in the mode of paramour, where they think about the Lord as their beloved, as a paramour, and they are ready to give up all their family on the spiritual platform. And when the Lord plays his flute right at midnight, they give whatever activities they are performing, they leave it behind and run towards the Lord, completely attracting their minds. And they join the Lord in his pastime, right? They join the Lord in in the Lord's pastime, fully attracted. So much so that we see um, devotees on the platform of Uddhavji feels like that, oh, I have come to pass on this message of the Supreme Lord to these advanced devotees, and they are in such a reverential, not reverential, they're in such a mood of paramour worship that they are so advanced that let me become a creeper. Let me become a keeper in this Braj Bhumi where I can get the dust of these advanced devotees. And that's one of the internal reasons where the Lord appears to broadcast this wonderful mood of broadcast and experience this paramour mood of his devotees. Right? That's um, Lord's contemplation. before his descent that, oh, I will appear in that mood of Srimati Radharani so that I can experience this topmost attraction which they have for me. Topmost attraction which they have for me. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Do we have any discussion on this? Haribo.
You explained it so well, Prabhuji. I just want to keep listening to you.
Keep listening.
So beautiful. It's such a beautiful topic. Such a
Yeah.
I this thought just came to my mind regarding the Vipralambha, right? So is that the reason? Is that this not it can it's not the sole reason I know, but is that the reason that he moved to Dwarka just so that they could feel the separation? I know he was committed to marrying, like, and then he had the queens, but is that the one of the reasons that he moved to Dwarka so that they could feel the mood of separation of Vipralambha? I don't know if I'm explaining myself
No,
right.
that's a good question. Madhavi. Now, so the Lord has his various forms. One is the Shyam Sundar form, who is always present in Braja Vrindavan. And that form of the Lord never leaves Vrindavan. That form of the Lord never leaves Vrindavan. This chapter, when I was reading, I read that even uh, that form is so complete. The Shyam Sundar form is so complete.
So Prabhuji, is it? I don't know if I'm mistaken, but I thought it was. You're right, definitely. I mean, isn't that the Vasudev Krishna who never leaves Vrindavan?
No, no, the Shyam Sundar Krishna never leaves Vrindavan.
Okay,
Vasudeva Krishna leaves with Akrura to go to Mathura.
okay, okay.
Vasudeva means son of Vasudeva,
Right, right,
right? So
right, right.
Vasudeva Krishna is in
Leaves.
four-handed forms,
Okay,
where he is present in front of Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And when Arjuna tells Lord Krishna to show his universal form, the Lord shows his universal form. Then Arjuna becomes afraid. He reverentially offers his obeisances to the universal form, and then tells, requests the Supreme Lord that, oh, please come back to your original form. So then the Lord comes back in his four-handed Vasudeva form, and he further tells the Lord, oh, please come back to your original two-handed form. Right in Bhagavad Gita, we see that.
got it, got it. Yeah, okay, got it.
So Vasudeva Krishna leaves Vrindavan to come to Mathura to fight, to kill Kansa. The one killing Kansa is Vasudeva Krishna. Right, four-handed Vasudeva Krishna. The same four-handed Vasudeva Krishna appears in the prison house of Kansa, right in front of Devaki and Vasudeva. Right, four-handed form. And Devaki and Vasudeva immediately offer their obeisances to Vasudeva Krishna. They, oh, please come back to your origin, to your childhood form. Otherwise, we won't be able to no, hide you in your
Mhm.
four-handed Vasudeva Krishna form. And then the Lord comes to his Bal Swarup. Now, Bal Swarup is never present even in Vaikuntha. Even in Golaka, that Bal Swarup is not present. To see that Bal Swarup, they have to come to Bhauma Vrindavan to see the Bal Swarup and Bal Lila of the Supreme Lord. Right? The mood is there, the parental affection mood is there of the devotees. But eternally the Lord is present in what form? Kaishara form, 16-year-old form in the spiritual realm. Right? And further, when the Lord goes to Dwarka, he goes as Dwarkadish Krishna, where then he exhibits his Swakiya Bhav and reciprocates with his devotees who similarly are in that Swakiya Bhav. Swakiya means a mood which a wife has for his husband and they want to marry Lord Krishna. And that's where Lord Krishna has 16,108 wives in Dwarka. Right. But when the Dwarka Krishna, Dwarkadish Krishna, comes to Kurukshetra on a solar eclipse, right, the gopis do not want to see the Lord in that particular form. They could not tolerate to see the Lord in that form of prince or king, right? They want to have the Lord come back to his Vrajlila form. And they start carrying pulling the Lord's chariot from Kurukshetra to Vrindavan, not allowing that chariot to go back to Dwarka. Right, this entire mood which last month we had about this Rath Yatra and Ulta Rath. What is Ulta Rath? The Lord Rath Yatra is the Lord going from Dwarka to Vrindavan, going from Aishwarya Lila in Dwarka to Madhurya Lila, right, of Vrindavan, or Avdari Lila, which the Lord in form of Mahaprabhu exhibited, right, really distributing the mercy of the Supreme Lord to each and every one. Yeah. But that sweetness is there in that Madhurya form in Vrindavan, not in Dwarka, right? Um, in Vrindavan, one time Narad Muni wanted to test um, the consciousness of the Vraj gopis, and the gopis asked Narad Muni, about the Supreme Lord, and the Lord, Narad Muni mentioned that the Lord is having a headache. And the only thing which can cure his headache is the dust of all of your lotus feet. If I apply that on the head of the Supreme Lord, he will be cured of his headache. And all the gopis immediately started scraping the dust of the feet to give it to Narad Muni, so that that dust can be applied on the head of the Supreme Lord and his headache can be relieved. not worrying about, if I put my dust on the Lord's head, I will go to hell. No, they don't worry about that. Right? The Lord's headache is cured. That's more of their concern. That, oh, Lord's headache is cured. That's all we want. Right? So that is in the Shyam Sundar form of Krishna. He never leaves Vrindavan, and more confidential pastimes which are there. That Shyam Sundar Krishna, when Jasoda gave birth at an elder age, she gave birth to twins, Shyam Sundar Krishna and Jogamaya. And when Vasudev comes with Vasudev Krishna from Mathura to Vrindavan, that Vasudev Krishna merges into the body of Shyam Sundar Krishna. In the form of Shyam Sundar Krishna, he never leaves Vrindavan. But while never leaving Vrindavan, also he exhibits this pastime of union and separation with the gopis. When the gopis, when Krishna leaves as Vasudeva Krishna to Mathura, they're completely in the mode of separation. Right? Is that okay, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, very beautifully explained. Very beautifully explained. Yes, thank you for clearing my doubt. So when I went to Kurukshetra this time, I was fortunate enough to go to the place where the gopis pulled the rath
Hmm.
back. Yes, we were under that in the place where the temple is, and under the tree. There's a tree that's been there for a long, long time.
Yeah,
And
Benjamin.
Janardhan Maharaj like gave a lecture over there. So it was beautiful. Yes. So felt so fortunate to be there.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
those
Yeah.
past places are still
It
there.
just has its divine vibes over there. It's just
Yeah.
like in Vrindavan, and it's like just uh, I don't know. It just cannot be explained in words. Like the feel there, the vibes there, so
Hmm.
transcendental, so like so
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, all these places are still there. Vrindavan, those going with mundane consciousness, they will see the traffic of Vrindavan, they will see all oh, when
Yes. Yes.
this place is so polluted and this and that and that and that. But beyond that is the sweetness which is still there in these different places in Vrindavan, and you go deeper. That's why our devotees take a sincere effort to especially go to release this witness by going at least once in the lifetime to this Vraj Mandal Parikrama. Because Vraj Mandal Parikrama, the 30 days, takes you to the inner area of Vraj, which is beyond this outer commercial commercialized area. Right? This inner areas of Vraj. Mm, and this 12 forest of Vraj, and experience that mood which is still vibrant in these inner areas.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I think we went to one place. I cannot remember the name now. Where Krishna used to call all his cows. and they have that there you can feel that mood, just like what you're talking about. I
Uh-huh.
don't remember the exact place. It's a very famous place. Janardhan Maharaj took us there. And there are different cows, and different colors. They were, like they had made, and the exact spot from where Krishna used to call all his cows.
Mm.
Starts with the T. I cannot recall exactly.
Terkadam?
Tev Kadam, yes, Tev Kadam.
Yeah, Terkadam is a wonderful place.
Yeah, we went there. Very nice. And there, exactly like you're talking about that mood, you could feel that was, like,
Yeah,
yes. Mhm.
yeah. 1 minute, Mataji. Let me just send a message to this devotee. Yeah, Terkadam is such a wonderful place near Nandagaon, very intimate, where Rupa Goswami wrote Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion. Yeah, 1 minute. Yep, very good. Near that, in that Terkadam, there is also a pond which is considered as Gupta Vrindavan, right, where no, the Lord has so many wonderful pastimes there. And even now, they say that pastimes eternally happens there. Those that advanced vision can relish those pastimes. And Terkadam is, yeah, it's in a way more little bit secluded from the main road. So it is,
Yes, yeah, when we went to Nandgaon, he took us there.
yeah, yeah.
And the Mahadev temple, we went there.
Asheshwar Mahadev.
Yeah, we went there.
From Asheshwar Mahadev temple, you
Hmm.
walk down
It's very ancient, yes.
from the
Hmm.
field to go to Terkadam.
Hmm. Very
Yeah,
nice.
good, 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 good. Wonderful. Yeah, thank you all very much. Okay, Hare Krishna. We'll
Thank you
conclude
so
here.
much, Prabhuji. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Vanchakalpatarubhayasya kripa
Haridastu
sindhu
Kripa Sindhu
vacha
Devacha
patitanam
Pranam
pavanebhyo
Pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
namo
Namo
namaha.
Vaishnavyanda
Vaishnavinda ki
Ki
jai. Granthva Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki
Ki
jai.
Jai.
Gaur Premanande.
Hari Hari Bo. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Hare Krishna. Hare Gopal.